Hello, everybody. My name is Josh Tyler. I'm the National College Advisory Program Director for Rush Soccer. Today is Tuesday, September 28th, 2021, the year 2021. Some of us didn't think we'd ever make it this far, but here we are in 2021 and still in the pandemic. But so today we were talking about questions to ask on a recruitment visit. We did a survey. We had 189 college coaches respond with some really good answers of what to ask, what not to ask. Tyler and I have a top 10 questions not to ask, and we're going to see what that looks like. And as always, we are joined by the newly crowned Waffle King of Canton, Tyler Tomlinson from Culver-Stockton College. So we're going to get into it. This is Cap Chat. All right, Tyler, how are you today?
I'm good. Love me some waffles, baby.
Yeah, Waffle King of Canton. Did you? I think didn't Waffle House used to give you something? I don't remember.
All I know is a very common trend going around fantasy football leagues. Have you heard of this, Josh? The punishment for losing your fantasy football league is you have to sit in a Waffle House for 24 hours. And for every waffle you eat, it takes an hour off your punishment.
No, I've never heard of that. That seems awful.
That's why it's a great punishment.
Have you ever been to Waffle King in the middle of the day, like in the daytime?
Waffle King? Is that even a restaurant?
No, Waffle House. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Have you been?
I have.
Is it weird?
In the middle of the day, I guess.
I bet there's some there's some
characters.
There's some characters that you turn the lights on and. Oh man, that's funny. Well, it's hot again, and I actually got a portable umbrella that clips onto the side of my chair to block this, give me sunshade.
Wow, you're that old now.
I told you last week I'm so over the heat, and
you did say that,
and I'm just over it, and so I'm setting to my sunshade. I'm probably 2 clicks away from the Velcro New Balances, but. I'm so high maintenance. I'm setting my shade.
You're using the term sunshade. No one uses that.
We record we use Veo to record the film, and you can see because it records them up. And I was watching the film, and you see like I am in a perfect shadow, and I'm just sitting there chilling.
Where Coach is in this shadow of frigidness.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty good. So, but anyway, man, life's good for you. Everything good up there?
Yeah, we're rolling, baby. We're rolling. This is a weird time for me, and particularly for recruitment. We get real hot right after our ID camp. We get our first big wave of commits, and then you think it's gonna always gonna continue on, and we're gonna be on to the next year, and then you hit the August. It's at the start of school lull, and we're in that right now. Usually by the time October picks up, we get hot again and kind of finish out our recruit class. So this is just it's normal.
Yeah,
I try not to stress out.
No, it's hard not to though. It always seems to work out.
Yeah, we'll always find a way, but this is just I got to remind myself it's kind of a normal cycle recruitment wise, and we're kind of back to that here for the 2022 class.
Yeah, well, good. And hey, an odd question for you. And do you notice? I think I'm the only one that does. Do you notice that I change the colors on the Cap Chat graphic every time to match kind of the season or what we're talking about?
I did not notice. Although I think the graphic for this particular show was like a fall assortment. Yeah. And that did randomly stick out to me. But I also had read your question of, did you notice I changed the colors?
I created these graphics, and I put more time into actually find the color palette and you make it. And next week we're talking about hydration, which is really cool. We have Clint Carter coming in from Men's Health and is on the Day Show and talking about hydration and how to maximize performance. But so that graphic has a lot of blue in it for water.
I'm glad I'm noticing this now, so I'll keep an eye out for your great
well,
palette.
Maybe I don't care anymore because no, but I also do because when they go on the website, they're in order or like, and if they all look the same, nothing kind of changes, and so I do have a nice color palette, and that is you're right, that's the fall color palette, So
we both have communication degrees for a reason.
All right. Well, like we said, we're coming up on some fun stuff here. We're talking about the questions to ask on a recruitment visit, and then the top 10 questions not to ask on a recruitment visit. And so we got some really good answers and good responses. But we're gonna let Tyler talk about Tyler trends here.
I tend to think of myself as a one-man wolf pack, and my wolf pack grew by one.
Time for Tyler's trends.
This one unfortunately could your chances to get recruited. Well, and I think I don't know if we might have complained about it a couple of times, but it's never been a segment of Tyler's trends per se. And this is very important when you're throwing your highlight video around, is we have to have an indicator of who you are on the field. Right. And so I've had a couple highlight films been sent to me recently, Josh, and it's not just like one kid on a breakaway or a free kick, but like some actual buildup that a lot of players are involved, and the players have not identified or circled themselves or stuck the arrow in on them, or even in the email given the number, like I will wear number 14. I think I remember you giving extra advice to this, saying try to wear something different that sticks out. Remember to say that, like I'll be wearing number 14, but you can find me. I always have orange shoes on.
Yeah.
And those little things help. If you don't, I understand, Josh, not everybody has the technology to circle themselves or drop in the arrow. So but you do have to send a highlight film to a coach that wants it and be able to identify who you are on the field.
Yeah, I think that's, and I'm a plug for what Rush does is we do through College Fit Finder. We now offer, they had that platform, and for our Cap Plus, it's $25 for the year. That's it, and it circles everything for you. Like, and to me, it's worth the $25. And we've talked about this numerous times. Sadly, it shouldn't be like people should just know it, but they don't. And you mentioned how you said I see kids with big froey hair, and I said, hey, keep that hair, because that's how you like tell the coach I'm the guy with the big fro, and they like laugh. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, I recruited a kid, and I'll never forget. She shot me a message. She goes, I'm the kid. She played at Frank South Central. She goes, I'm the kid with the bright orange hair. I'm like, I get them like, oh, that must be Lacey, and it was. And but like it those little things really. Anything to do to make you stand out. It's simple, but that not using a bad highlight video, we've said it is so disadvantageous.
It could be a good highlight video, but I don't know who I'm watching.
Yeah, true.
And you said it. You're like, this shouldn't be a trend, guys. But every once in a while you'll get 2 or 3 emails, and I'm just like, oh man, we're gonna have to talk about this on the show again.
Yeah.
Make sure you identify if your club like this, like Rush using a tool that you can pay not very much money at all for. Oh, that makes life so much easier.
Yeah, it does. And it's and I will say, and to help, I mean, adding the circle is the hardest thing. You can make your own clips and add the circle. So it's $25. RushCollege.com. You can sign up. That's our advertising. Today's episode is brought to you by him, but no, it is. It is so easy to be able to do that. No, that is a good trend. That's a good answer. So. We hope they continue to use it. Are you still watching? Are you still watching a lot of film where people still send in stuff?
Yeah, but each year is a little different for me. Last year was like obviously all film,
right.
Before anybody could get out and watch games and whatnot. But this year, for me personally, I'm on a little bit of a path of international players that I'm going to try to go after. So that doesn't happen every year for us at Culver, but I'm watching a lot of film, domestically and internationally right now.
Good. Yeah, I know, because I know for a while, I mean, like when we first came out of COVID, we weren't watching as much film because we wanted to see live. I mean, do you feel like recruitment has gotten back to some sort of normalcy to what it was in 19?
I do feel that way. So I'm able to go out and watch the kids that I can go watch. But for every college coach, recruitment is a global thing and a national thing. And there's going to be players that are interested in your school. I've been communicating with a player from like El Paso, Texas, right? That is not in our backyard whatsoever, but they're still very interested. We've done Zoom visits of the college. We've gone through all the processes, and we're at that point where I'm going to make a scholarship offer based off of film, and I understand not every family has the budget to fly across country just to visit all the schools they want to see. So, we're back to a pretty normal spot, but, sometimes the video process does play a part in the recruitment process.
So you're doing a complete offer by not meeting this player in person. So by Zoom calls and watching video and things like that. Interesting.
Yeah, our Zoom tours have gone up, and obviously it all started with COVID, right? And everybody being quarantined, and we started doing Zoom tours. But that option for me, I'm doing another one tomorrow with a player from Canada. So for us, it's a tool that we've actually would not have been in our arsenal if it wasn't for 2020, and now we're using it all the time. So, and we're pretty proud of our Zoom tour and think it shows a good amount about our school and our college that a kid could feel comfortable saying that I can see myself there.
Yeah, and there's so many good things I think that will come out of technology-wise. You're right.
Yeah.
Even this Riverside. We use Riverside for these calls, and I don't know how prevalent this could have been. This makes us doing cap checks easier. I love the face-to-face. I very rarely pick up a phone anymore. It's always, hey, let's schedule. We use Google Meets, but let's schedule a Zoom or Google Meet call so you get to see face-to-face. And I think it takes a lot of pressure off kids because tours are nerve-wracking. We know that. And you're 16-year-old teenager talking and trying to plan your future, and doing it over Zoom sometimes is you can take a deep breath, and it's not as scary as intimidating. And so I think there's so many technology things that is coming out of COVID that has been really advantageous for the world too, but especially the recruitment process.
Yeah, and for me, I always say, if you're going to do a Zoom tour of the college, I want you to take this like a real tour. So I would prefer a parent or guardian or somebody there with you. And then, you get to be on your couch. And so it's been a good process for us. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, very, 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 very good. I like that. So we're gonna head over and we ask 100. I sent a survey out. We got 189 responses to questions to ask on a recruitment visit. Tyler brought this up a couple weeks ago, and so we've been kind of building on this and questions to ask on a recruitment visit. And we asked college coaches. One, we asked them what division they coached, the gender, and then what question do you recommend every prospective student athlete, which is a PSA, ask on a visit? And is there a question you would not visit? And then anything else you'd like to add? And do you allow PSAs to train with their team? So really cool. Really cool responses. We just got 190 right now. So 190 coaches responded. So we got a pretty good feel there. So, but I think before we dive into that, Tyler, do you want to do your top? So Tyler and I came up with a top 5. So he has 5. I have 5 of questions not to ask on the recruitment visit. These are not super serious, but these are questions not to ask on a recruitment visit. So Tyler, go ahead. You want to rotate? You want to do all 5?
Well, I think we need to go back and forth.
All right, you're the king of this. This is stolen from Dad's Rank Things podcast. You can find anywhere podcaster. So that is a Tyler Tomlinson special. But go ahead, Tyler. You go ahead and start.
Yeah, a question I have that you should never ask on a college visit is number 5 for me. Exactly how spicy is your spicy chicken sandwich in your cafeteria? On a level of 1 to outrageous. Could be important.
My My number 5 is you don't want to ask the coach. Does it intimidate you that I know more about the game than you?
Oh God. That goes through some kids' heads, I bet. Sometimes.
I'm sure, but just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that one you might want to keep yourself. And this one too. My number 4. Hey, coach, what's your TikTok handle? Do a little of the.
You want to make a TikTok video with me?
Can we do a quick TikTok real quick?
All right, my number 4 is what not to ask a coach on a visit is. Can we switch to Umbro?
Wait, who's going on this visit? A 47-year-old man? Umbro, Nike purchased Umbro. They're coming back a little bit.
I think Umbro is at Wall or somewhere.
Yeah, like a Target, I think.
So.
And they even have the shorts like when we were kids with on one, butt cheek, and bro on the other, and they're different colors.
And they're super baggy. Like you had to wear sliders underneath them. I mean, they're yeah.
I miss those. These are the questions not to ask on your college visit. Number 3, it's been kicked around a few times, Josh. But number 3, is it true that you have a fountain named after you on campus? Is that true?
Is that true? Can you verify? I can neither confirm nor deny that you have a fountain named after you. Do you point that out when you walk by it?
Do
you
I
point the fountain out when you walk by it?
Like with the recruits? Yeah. Fun fact, this is not in my questions list, but I got married on campus, like in our quad. We had an outdoor wedding. It was pretty nice. The Tomlinson fountain actually was the backdrop. So I don't usually say that's the Tomlinson fountain over there, but I do say, hey, I got married here. And they're always like, wow, that's pretty neat. And this is a really good view. And I'm like, I know, that's why we did it.
All right.
Yeah, my players probably don't even know there's a Tomlinson fountain.
Yeah, that's good. That's a hard thing to bring up.
Yeah, We'll meet there tonight. Run.
All right, my number 3 is of what not to ask a coach on a visit is how many touchdowns did your team score last year?
What's your batting average?
Yeah.
Touchdown. My number 2 question not to ask on your college visit. Do you believe Al Gore when he says he invented the internet? Good timing on that one. Could open up a whole different can. It's very random. Maybe that's a good question to ask.
So, oh yeah, definitely. I don't know what I'd even say. Oh my gosh. All right, my number 2 is what not to ask a coach is, do you find it hard coaching when you're that overweight?
Oh my God. Oh yeah, stairs are hard. Oh my!
Is this your number 1?
No, sorry, I was just going about me.
Oh no, but you only have one more left, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry. My number. So, where do you think the number 1 spring break destination is?
That's it.
PCB.
Yeah.
Cancun.
Yeah. Where can I see the most good-looking people?
Priorities.
All right. Well, my number 1 question not to ask a college coach on a visit. Coach, do you guys test for cocaine? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, just my friend wants to know, not other drugs.
Yeah.
Just cocaine.
I don't. All right.
That's it.
All right. So those were the top 10 questions.
Don't ask those.
Don't ask those. Disclaimer.
Please.
I think the chicken.
If you do ask those, you didn't hear it from us.
Yeah, the chicken sandwich was pretty good.
Chicken sandwich.
All right, Tyler. So now we're going to head to serious. Is now kind of getting serious with it a little bit, but so what are you got 3 questions. What are your top 3 questions that should be asked that you think you need to be asked on a visit here?
Yeah, so like we talked about this last week. I feel like I have 3 magic. I call them my magic questions. And not because they give out basic answers that you compare one school to another, but I think this a lot will show you the coach that you're going to play for, and a little bit about who they are as a coach. So sorry, college coaches, but this is actually for you, not for the schools that you're coaching at, for example. So my number 3 question, Josh, is one I actually got asked in my interview for my job. I've asked it since then to some other coaches and whatnot, but it does paint you a picture of what kind of coach that is competitive-wise, and that is, and you've probably heard this, would you rather play well and lose or play poorly and win?
So would you rather play well and lose or play poorly and win?
How would you answer, Josh? Well, here's the thing,
college,
right?
I mean, the college level, you got to play. I mean, because it's about results. So I think no matter how you do, ultimately you got to eke out a victory. And not that I like kick and run, but you're down with 5 minutes left to go, and you need to get a victory, and you're down 1-0, and I may kick and run because not good soccer, but I mean, you got to get a win. I think for youth sports, it may be I'd rather you play well. But if I lose a game, I'm not, but for you, I think college, I think I'd rather get a win. But I don't know. What do you?
Well, there's no right answer. I think what this reveals is, am I a results-driven coach or am I a process-driven coach? And so without asking that question, you just phrase it a different way and see how they respond, right? Yeah, it would probably surprise people for me to answer, I'd rather play well and lose, because I'm a process-driven coach. So I always feel like if we're continuing to do the right things and play well, the results will eventually come as a bystander of that. But yeah, and a lot of coaches would probably say we have to win. Like, that's what I'm here to do. And so that's kind of my number 3 when it comes to my magic questions here to ask the coach.
Devil's advocate on this one though. But I mean, if you're in a game that you got to win to make postseason, you can't care how bad. I mean.
Yeah, it doesn't work every game. Obviously,
there's gonna be a time when it is the old kick and run, whatever that is, but offside.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're in the national championship game. You just have to win.
Yeah.
And I understand the playoff difference.
Yeah. No, that's good. Okay.
Number 2 question. It's a tough question for coaches, and this is why I think it's a great question to ask coaches. Do you play seniors on senior night? Right now. There's going to be maybe 60% of the coaches out there that are like, hey, my job's to win every game. So we're going to start every game with the same players regardless of senior night, and we're going to go win games, right? There may be some coaches that say, yeah, I do. They've earned that. It doesn't mean they're going to play the whole game. They may play 1 second of the game, right? But we're going to put them in, and we're going to take them out, but we're going to recognize them. So I think that one's an interesting one. It's a character question for a coach, and it would be interesting to see a lot of their answers.
But how much does that vary when you're dealing with, I guess let me ask you back this up. Does NAIA have subbing restrictions?
Yeah, there are restrictions, right? You can in every level, you can only play so much scholarship money per season.
Yeah, so
that could be part of your answer.
In Division II, once you go off first half, you're not coming back on, so you have no reentry. And so now, I mean,
correct.
So how you sub is differently. So you say, okay, if this senior you got one, everyone has a senior that's been around, kind of a walk-on, good kid, but if you got 2 or 3 of them, but no, that's a great question though, because
and you're right, because those are the things you're obviously dealing with as a coach, right? Like, well, we can, but we run out of money.
Yeah.
We would. But there's no reentry, and we want to use you in a different facet for the game. Yes, we'll play them, but then they won't be able to come back into the second half.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, that's these are
right. Isn't that? Don't you think that's a good character question to see how they respond?
I 100% agree. I do because it does, because it is a thought process. So I think that's good. No, I like that one.
Yeah, NAIA in particular has exemptions. So if you're like a 3.7 GPA or higher, your scholarship money doesn't count towards your team's scholarship. So if I'm comparing to another coach at our level that you could put a kid in, doesn't count any money, why not?
Interesting.
Right? Number one. This is an interesting one too, Josh. When it comes to unlocking who your coach is, you have a freshman and a senior of equal talent. Who do you play and why?
Well, I don't know how to answer that one because like my brain goes to two different things. The senior earns it, but also if you play a freshman, it gives them a confidence boost. I don't know if it's a discussion I have with that kid at that moment, but yeah, I mean, if you get a freshman in, they give it a confidence boost. All things equal, same player, same grade, same personality, same respect and practice. I would play the senior because they have more game experience and they've seen more things at a higher level. Would be if all things equal.
Good. Yeah, so that's the thing. It like what you just said. Like, man, I don't know how I would answer. I feel like a coach should know his or her answer, right? They should be able to be like, yeah, I've been in this situation, and here's what here's what I think is best for the program in that situation. So that could tell you a little bit about who they are.
Yeah.
As a coach as well. So those are my three questions that I think are put the coach on the spot, get to know who they really are. Feel free, use away.
Yeah, no, those are very good. A lot of thought went into this show. This is a lot of,
unlike other shows.
I know. Sometimes we just wing it. Those are really good. I was writing those down, so those are. I was typing. I don't really write much anymore. So, those are good. Yeah. So, man, we got a lot of stuff to go over here.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the number of responses that we got from college coaches all across the nation of all levels, and I really think that what we've compiled is a great list. I'm actually going to suggest to Josh right now that we publish this list and we get it shared, and so that this is open to anyone out there that has trouble with questions, that can say like, hey, I know of a really extensive list put together by those two studs on Cap Chat Live that will really help all kids that are going on college visits. Because we could sit here for days and go over all the answers that these coaches gave.
Absolutely.
But I think the ultimate thing is for us to publish this somewhere, Josh, and for you to get it out on social media and us share this with the public, and for us to just say thank you to everybody that responded.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think it goes to show that coaches really do care, and they do want to see the success, and and a lot of responses. Again, we are up to at just being on live here. When we started, we were at 189. So even just two more, so it's good. So so we will publish this. It will be on rushcollege.com, and there are a lot of good answers. And and I sent a survey out again last year, way more in depth that also include. But I do want to do. I want to kind of one of my favorite answers. So we obviously, like Tyler said, we could spend hours and hours on it, but we will publish this on rushcollege.com for you. But the question that was asked. And what question do you recommend every prospective student athlete ask? And the one I saw it a couple times in kind of some form of it, but I thought it was good. The one I liked was, what makes your program different from the others? And I think that was a good one. Coaches would ask, what makes your program different from the others? Because ultimately, the coach is trying to sell you on the program as well. But that was one of the ones that really stuck out to me.
But that's a really great question, and I've been asked that, and it does, because you're going to have your standard stock answers for every question because you're so used to them, right? But when you get that one, that's not like, hey, what's your best majors or whatever like that you just know the answers from. You have to separate your college and say, literally, this is why it's better than other colleges. They're not better, but different than other colleges. So that one really is a good question.
Yeah, and I think, too, because everyone's going to find a reason. Because what makes you stand out is what makes that college unique. For example, I'll just use Columbia College. What makes them unique is, I'm right next to Mizzou and you guys, and maybe that in that process, that's not what I want. I want a smaller field, and that's also why I think Columbia College gets players, and I love Coach Klein there, but that's probably why even in St. Louis, they get players in St. Louis, and it's the reason that you don't get players. But also, it's the vice versa. It's the same. Like we have a small field, and so what makes it different could be one of the things that you really like about the college, or that makes you go, oh, I really do want a big city around me, and I want to be in the heart of downtown St. Louis, whatever that looks like. So I thought that was a pretty good question.
I liked one of my responses that I just, as I was going through that caught my eye was, make sure you dress the part for your college visit.
I saw that.
It was just almost like a recommendation, and I was like, it's a good, but it's something that you and I don't talk about. We haven't talked about, like, you have your hood on, your torn up jeans, like, look the part. Look like a soccer player, look like someone that's dressed up for a presentation, however you want to go. Like, but, don't look like you're going to, I don't know, Whitesnake concert in the 80s.
No, I agree. I think you should look decent, especially if you're going on a campus tour. I think, and I'm not saying shirt and tie, but I think you should wear, non-soccer pants if you're going on a campus tour. If you're going to watch practice, you're going to watch training, okay, you can wear soccer pants. But I'm with you. I think you should look.
That was a good suggestion.
Yeah, no, I like that one too. And the other one that was come up is, Tyler, did you see one? The question was, what was your favorite response for anything else you'd like to add? Did any of those stand out and kind of catch your eye?
On the anything else you'd like to add section?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what came up the most.
Go ahead.
That had an option. Anything else you'd like to add? And the thing that came up the most was players over parents, in some form of that is.
Yeah, like don't look at your parents for answers.
It was correct. Yeah, players do the answer. Parents let them answer. So that was the biggest theme that came up. So, but yeah, I didn't know, Tyler, if you saw anything.
Advice, make sure you know the division rules. Like if you're D1, they won't allow them. Can't train with the team. So there are people just like giving some. Make sure you know the divisions that you're asking and the questions that you're asking. Things like that. You come to an ID camp, you can, but you can't just like jump into their D1 practice.
Right. Exactly. Yep. No. And so that was a big one. And then being prepared was a big one. Yeah. That was a big one.
It was really awesome, Josh, and I'm very happy of the responses that we got. They're going to be very helpful.
I think so too. So, but yeah, very good. We'll post that on rushcollege.com, and like I said, like Tyler said, there's some really good stuff that was in there, and so next week we are talking about the importance of hydration. But no, the importance of hydration, and also how do you improve your performance. Game day's a big thing, and so Clint Carter from Men's Health. He's been on the Today Show. He's been on Men's Journal. He's kind of a big deal, and I think, but he's going to talk about that and make it really kind of cool on there. So, anyways, Tyler, any last words?
No, I think this is a show that you can get a lot out of, Josh. Really good show. Don't ask any more questions than we set out to ask.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. This has been another episode of Cap Chat Live for the Waffle King of Canton, Tyler Tomlinson. This is Josh Tyler with Rush Soccer. Thanks, everyone.